Hello everybody and welcome to Mark Goldbridge, That's Football. We've got a cracking game for you tonight. It's Everton against Leeds. I'm up against it a little bit here actually. I've just been on United stand, as I'm sure some of you know. But I'm looking forward to this tonight. A lot of people will be watching Man City, Burnley, wasting your time. Liverpool, Brighton, wasting your time. But tonight, we're not wasting our time. Man United are playing Everton on Saturday night. It's a big game for us United fans, so it's nice to keep an eye on what your next opponent's doing. But more importantly, I just think Leeds are one of the most watchable teams in the league. Not in relation to them being a fantastic side, just that they're a good side to watch. And we'll be keeping an eye on the other games as well, because Leicester are winning against Fulham 2-0, so that's going to finish like that. And obviously Man City are going to beat Burnley, but we have got Villa against West Ham. We'll keep an eye on that, and Liverpool against Brighton as well. But thanks everyone for tuning in. Looking forward to this. I'll go through the team news for you now. They're just clapping for Sir Tom. Passed away at 100. Made millions and millions of pounds for our NHS. What a great job he did. Lingard is starting. Without a doubt, Lingard is starting for West Ham. I'll go through the team news in this game because that's what we're watching. So Leeds against Everton. Team news: Mislia, Ayling, Struch, Cooper, Alioski, Phillips, Rafina, Klitsch, Dallas, Harrison, Bamford for Leeds. Olsen, Holgate, Mina, Godfrey, Digne, Decore, Gomez, Iwobi, Sigurdsson, Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin for Everton. Rodriguez is actually on the bench. James Rodriguez is on the bench. So I've not watched Everton play in quite a few weeks. I watched them a lot at the start of the season when they were doing really well. And they have been doing really well recently, to be fair to Everton. So let's see how they get on tonight. But just about to start the clock here. How are we all doing anyway? How are we all doing? Happy to talk about a few things tonight. Sir Tom was a great patriot. Rest in peace, says Daniel Lugo. Michael Oliver is the referee here. Score prediction, 3-2 Leeds. 3-2 to Leeds. And we're off and running. But it should be a cracker, really. I think Leeds are. I think people get very arrogant about Leeds, almost condescending about Leeds. Oh, look at Leeds! Everyone says they play great football, but look at them in mid-table. That's not the point, you prats. I just think there's a real condescending attitude with some people about Leeds when they don't win. And the reality is, it's not about Leeds winning the title. It's about Leeds being an entertaining side to watch. Like when Man United played them before Christmas and we scored 6, I was over the moon because it's such a good game to watch. They nearly scored there. They've just got an early corner here. They play 100 miles an hour. They play absolutely wide open, and there's always goals in Leeds games. So I'm looking forward to this one tonight. I really am. Go, get rid of that twats. There we go. A few twats in the live comments, which is always, well, it's life, isn't it? You expect it these days. Hello from Dublin. Hope you'll be able to come and share a triple decker with us Irish, says Matthew Larney. Yep, I can't wait for that, mate. I can't. But Leeds starting on the front foot here. Where are Leeds in the league, actually? Leeds. Where are you in the league, Leeds? So Leeds are 11th in the league at the moment with 29 points. If they won tonight, they go above Arsenal. Everton are in 8th place with 33 points. In fairness, they have played 3 games less than Manchester United. So if they won all 3 of those, they'd go to 42 points. Probably not likely. But we'll see how it goes. Thanks for the super chats. You can do that through the $sign. No Alisson for Liverpool tonight. He's sick and could miss the City game, says Aidan. What do you make of David Luiz red card and Arsenal fans are still mad, says Rappalarena. Really good topic. We want to get into that. Did Cavani score his first goal at Old Trafford last night, says Michael Southcombe. Yes, apparently he did. He did. It was his first goal at Old Trafford. A lot of people were talking about that before the game, actually. So, yes. 8:15, the kickoff for the Anfield game. It's a bit of a weird one. There's so many games tonight that one of them's had to kick off at 7:30, so it's this one, which is good. So I'm happy about that, actually. I'm actually quite happy about that. Yeah, there was going to be some career mode, but I didn't do it at the end of the day because I decided I was going to do a watch along. And I stand by that. But let's talk about the red cards from last night. I mean, we might have to just keep an eye on this because it's been a fast start to the game. But can I just say, I absolutely, first of all, think that it was a penalty to Wolves and it was a penalty to Manchester United. Two very interesting, similar incidents last night. Strikers running through on goal. Defender makes not much contact. David Luiz for Arsenal. Bednarek for Southampton. But I absolutely think they are both penalties for a start. So that's where my stance is. I don't care about minimal contact. I think David Luiz catches him and takes him down. Because there's no reason for the Wolves player to go down. And I know Arsenal fans are unhappy, and I would be unhappy because it's such minimal contact. And I'd be unhappy. Look, if it's United conceding those penalties, I'm not happy. I'll be absolutely honest. Score prediction for Chelsea Spurs says it's Goldbridge time. 2-2, and I will be doing a watch along for that tomorrow night on this channel, so please subscribe, bottom right hand corner. But look, this channel is not about my bias towards Manchester United. This is about everybody's welcome on here and it's football opinion. So I will look at both those penalties and sending offs in an unbiased fashion and say, if that was a United player, what would I think? And I get the fact that Arsenal fans were angry because they probably, you're going to be angry. Arsenal probably would have won that game last night if they'd had 11 players on the pitch. I think they would have done. And their run comes to an end because of a red card that changes the game. So I get that. I understand how Arsenal fans are pissed off. From Southampton's point of view, I understand they're pissed off because they've been absolutely battered and they've actually had 2 players sent off, and one of them gets sent off at the end and now misses their next game when they've got an injury crisis. So it hurts them as well. But I've got to be honest and say, when you lived in Ireland, did you have much interest in the GAA, says Mert? Not really, to be honest with you. I am doing a Super Bowl watch on Sunday night, though. I'm doing a Super Bowl watch along on Sunday night. Drawty's designed me the set. It looks banging. So I am doing that. So you can join me if you're going to be watching the Super Bowl. It might be your first time you're going to watch the Super Bowl. You could say it's mine. It isn't. I do know a bit about American football, but there will be people who know more than me. So I'll be shouting scrum down and things like that, or line outs, and I'll be mixing up the sports. But, oh, it could have been in there, Calvert-Lewin. There was a slip, but Leeds have got the free kick. So yeah, just quickly, I'm going around the houses a bit here. I think on both penalties, and let's talk about David Luiz, the Wolves player is through one-on-one. He doesn't need to go down. He's not thought, I'll go down so we can get a penalty that we might not miss, and he might get a red card, but fuck knows whether he will do in the current rules. There's no way that striker has had enough time to think about that. He's through one-on-one, he's felt the connection, he's gone down. I think the Wolves penalty is more obvious than the Man United one, because maybe Martial's got a bit of a history of going down easily, which I'll talk about in a minute. But the reality is, it's a penalty as far as I'm concerned, because the Wolves player's got no reason to go down. So it's a penalty. Should he get sent off? I actually didn't think you could get sent off. We were talking about it on the United stand. I thought there was a double jeopardy rule, but the rule is, if you make no attempt to get the ball and you foul the player in the box, it's a red card. So, it is a red card and it is a penalty. But I understand Arsenal's frustration. But by the letter of the law, it's the law that needs changing. It's not, he did foul him, no matter how thin the contact was. It makes no sense for him to dive because he's one-on-one. And the law says it's a red card. So that's what it is. It's a last man tackle is always a red. It's not always a red last man tackle. If David Luiz had slid in and got near the ball, he wouldn't have got a red. If there's a genuine attempt to play the ball, you don't get a red. But he's nowhere near getting the ball. So that's why it's a red card. In relation to the Martial one, and remember, you've got VAR here as well. So VAR should make it a lot more obvious. Josh King is on the bench for Everton, by the way. A lot of people talking about that. I thought it was a penalty. But the Arsenal one's the one that's been most contentious, because I do agree with Arsenal fans that you probably would have won that game if you'd kept 11 players on the pitch. Mark's not deluded, Toby. Mark's just explained to you the rules of the game. If you don't like the rules, then, you know, and Charlie McGovern says you're making up the rules. I'm not making up the rules. I'm not making up the rules because we were discussing it yesterday and I watched everything about it today. And the reality is, the rule is, if there's no attempt to get the ball, you can get a red card. If you make an attempt to get the ball, you won't necessarily get a red card. And that's why you got the red card. Mark, I think I should be on here due to the loss of Southampton. I feel ashamed, but hope you're having a nice day, says Jaden Lyons. Thanks for the super chat, Jaden. I think Southampton are a good team, by the way. I just think circumstances yesterday, heads dropped. You shouldn't be getting beat 9-0, but you're not a bad side. What do you think of Ezri as a Villa fan? He's been one of our best players. Also, can you rank Grealish, Foden, Maddison and Mount? Thanks, bro, says Cam Clark. I'd say Foden and Grealish are hard to split. Maddison and Mount are hard to split, but Grealish and Foden are better than Maddison and Mount. Hi Mark, would you be able to wish my mate a happy 16th? His name is Josh and loves your channel. Keep up the work, mate, says Jack Cooper. Happy birthday to Josh. Hope you're doing well. Digne's picked it up on the left-hand side here. Good left back, Digne. Good cross. 1-0. What a goal. What a goal. What a cross. It's literally brilliant when you say that, isn't it? Digne's a good left back, you know. Delightful cross. Sigurdsson with the tap in. Where's Leeds defence? I don't know. I do not know what happens there. What a cross by 1-0. What a cross by Digne. He's onside unless they've got the angle wrong. Does it slightly annoy anyone else that Ollie doesn't wear a suit on game day, says KB7? Do you think Bednarak got sent off because VAR told Mike Dean we sent off David Luiz, you have to send off Bednarak? If you look at how it made, Mike Dean was sold something and straight away and came back on, says Aidan. Hey Marky, my girlfriend fiance bought me the Manchester is Adored jumper from your store for my birthday today, and United gave me a great gift yesterday. Thanks, mate. Thomas M, happy birthday for that. We were 1-0 here. We've got a goal already, which is always payback, cash back. To get the goal, because I'm watching this game tonight expecting goals. Sigurdsson scored the goal, by the way, tap in, but it's 1-0 to Everton and it's Digne with the assist. So Leeds losing already and Everton are the team to watch. Remember, Man United are playing Everton on Saturday. Somebody said to me today, it's the same somebody who I was talking about on the United stand, if you know, you know. They said, Man United Everton's got 0-0 written all over it. I said, oh no, we've got to win. We've got to win. He said, no, I can see that being a draw. They're a good side, Everton. They are a good side. They're running. They had a little bit of a blip, but recently their run has been very, very good. Everton's last... Oh no, actually, it's not as good as I thought. They've got 2 losses, 2 wins and a draw. So they're a little bit all over the place, but it's a good goal for Everton to score. And they've got another chance with Iwobi. Cleared away. Leeds a little bit all over the place still. Defensively, Leeds have had a problem this season anyway, haven't they? I know they've had injuries, but the way they set up, Everton are all over them a bit at the moment. Calvert-Lewin. Oh, shot from the edge of the box. Standard save for the keeper. Leeds need to be a bit careful here. As we know, they've got angry fans. If they start losing, Iron, you know, if you know, you know. Nice ball there into Bamford. Lovely little flick. Shot from distance, and the keeper puts it out for a corner for Leeds. Are you looking forward to watching Chelsea and Tottenham tomorrow? Says Shilo. I am looking forward to watching it, but if we call a spade, it's 7th against 8th, and they will both be at least 9 points off 4th place as well. So Tottenham Chelsea, it's a good game, but what does it really mean? I think if you lose it, your chance of top 4 is nearly gone. I think their chances of top 4 are getting slimmer by the minute anyway, especially with Leicester winning again tonight. But Tottenham and Chelsea play each other tomorrow. It's a big game, but they're miles off 4th place. Like, they're 9 points off 4th place if Liverpool beat Brighton, which I'm expecting them to do. So, yeah, but another clean sheet for Man City coming in as well. Corner to Leeds. Michael Oliver, whistle in mouth. got lovely blue eyes, Michael Oliver, hasn't he? Headed away by Mina. Another corner. My timer is a bit out, actually, isn't it? I wonder if it's doing that again. Remember before I had to change my timer because it was losing time. I think it might be doing it again. Keep an eye on the timer, everybody. Might be losing seconds. Headed over the bar by Ayling. Just looking at this Calvert-Lewin chance. Got a bit lucky. Not a bad shot, but on his left foot. Get your questions in about things topical. We've spoken about David Luiz's red card. Are Arsenal appealing it? That's the thing that interests me. Are Arsenal actually going to appeal it? Because I don't know. I mean, Southampton have requested that Mike Dean never refs their game again. I mean, look, this is can I just say this is really sad as well. This is the world we're living in now. So obviously it was Alex Jankwitz who got sent off for Southampton last night, number 64, literally making his debut, sent off after 90 seconds. And police have been contacted after he received racial abuse on social media. This is not acceptable. It's not acceptable. This is football, people. It's football. It's an entertainment business. You know, people get sent off. People make bad tackles. It's a competitive sport. What are you giving him racist abuse for getting sent off for? What is going on with people? Why is this happening? Why is any opinion or opposition or something that you don't like, does it have to be met with abuse? Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. And it's happening all the bloody time. All the time. A player misses a penalty. A player does a bad tackle. Let me go and give him a bit of abuse. Look, I'm not a victim of racist abuse because I'm not going to be, am I? That's not going to happen to me. But I am a victim of abuse, and I've been a victim of abuse for a long time. But when people take it to like the racist or the homophobic or the sexist, it's just wrong. But ultimately, it's a progression of this hate-filled society that we live in at the moment. And this is why when I was tweeting about somebody having a pop at me this morning, I'm not getting involved in it. Doesn't do anybody any favours. I don't care about YouTube beef. I don't care about people saying this, that and the other. I'm not bothered. I've had it for 5 years. I'm not going to listen to it. But we must stamp out this stuff that is racist and homophobic and everything like that, because it's not on. You can't do it on the streets. You can't. So why are you doing it on social media? We've got to eradicate it out of society. It's not just say no to racism. It's actually say no to any abuse. But we've got to start off with the racism and the homophobia and the illegal things, and then move down to the general abuse, because it's disgusting. It's disgusting. And what I would always challenge somebody as well is that when you're typing out these racist terms or homophobic terms or they're a nonce or this, that and the other, or whatever you're doing, it might be all very funny. You might think it's all very funny, but one day, what would you like it if 100 people were doing it against you? When the shoe's on the other foot, these bullies cower and cry. More needs to be done. More needs to be done. And what I would say is, we've got a great community on here. If you are ever a victim of racist abuse or any abuse, just focus on the good people in life, because the gutter people belong in the gutter. Have you seen the guy that racially abuses Ian Wright and he got away with it? Says Isam. I haven't, but the world is full of idiots, Jake Sullivan, but there's a lot of good people out there, and you just have to try and focus on the good people. And as that great line out of that great film says, evil prospers when good people do nothing. We've got to stand up the good people have got to stand up and do something about this, because they might be able to bully one person, but they can't bully thousands and thousands of us. And we've got to stick up for what's right where we can. Bamford heads it over the bar. Leeds coming back into this game though. It's just happening. It's just happening all the time now, though, isn't it? You know, all the time. You know, if a black player makes a mistake tonight and he's on Instagram, guaranteed there'll be some dickhead going there giving them abuse. Even Power says good people like you. I don't profess to be a good person. I think I'm a good person, but I'm not without my faults. And I think that that's also very important in society as well, is that, you know, being a good person doesn't mean that your farts don't smell. Like, we've all got our faults. But as long as our standards don't drop to the vulgar standards of everybody else, look, we're all guilty of doing things we regret. We're all capable of saying things that we wish we hadn't. But what I mean by good doesn't mean you've got to be bloody a Poundland Jesus. And what I'm talking about is your morals and respect and everything should always try and aim to be at that level. And yeah, you're gonna dip. We're all gonna dip. I've done it. You are going to dip, but never dip that low. They're the ones. They're the people that need dealing with. Eamon Kelly, I think lockdown has been an issue as well. Bamford's in the box. Rafinha, cross comes in. Bamford on the right-hand side. He will let it go for a corner. Thanks for the super chats, by the way. Social media need to stand up and stop these hidden freaks. Tracking them down is the only way, says Lee Preston. I think they should be tracked down and... You know, in Call of Duty, they have them like elite squads. They should be tracked down by them and not shot with real guns, but, you know, really high-powered water pistols. Absolutely blast them with that and drench the prats and then put it on social media with an attachment. Oh, what a hit! Hits the post. Good hit there. I think it might have been Click who hits that. It wasn't. It was Alioski. Edge of the box. It comes to him. Volleys it with the left foot. And it's a lovely hit. Oh, he deserves a goal from that. That would have been up there with Moutinho's yesterday. There's bend on it and everything. Lovely hit. Deserved a goal, that. Absolutely deserved a goal. Alioski, edge of the box. Delightful volley. Would have been a cracker. We'd have been talking about whose goal was better, Moutinho's or him. Watch this back. Comes to him on the volley. It's the foot of the post. It has to be spoken about, but at the same time, the reaction and headlines fuel more racism in an impossible situation. Alex Brown... Can I just say, you are an intelligent person and you are absolutely spot on. The more we talk about it, and we have to talk about it, but the more it's reported, the more these freaks do it. And that's the thing, because they see that they'll get notoriety, so that's why they do it. The only way to stop it is you can't ignore it, but if you're vocal about it, they do it more. The only way to stop it is for the social media companies to stop it. But what I would like to see happen, as I said, is if the law aren't going to deal with it, we need to get these Call of Duty squads with high-powered water pistols who track these racist twats down, get them in the back garden and just all surround them with a big GoPro 9 with good footage and lighting and spray the twats for about 10 minutes so that they're not just wet from the water guns, but they're wet from they're crying the tears of twatness. Some would say it's a bit oppressive, but ultimately... When they post racial abuse or abuse, they're basically ridiculing and damaging mentally the people that they do it against. So, you know, they should be ridiculed and laughed at. And nobody's laughing about the racism, of course, but we'd all laugh at one of these racists being blasted by an elite squad of Call of Duty people with big high-powered water pistols that we could all laugh at on social media while saying, you deserve it, you racist scum. Social media needs to stand up and stop these hidden freaks. Tracking them down is the only way, says Lee Preston. I think I've read that, and I think that's what got in my head about Call of Duty. Predictions for Liverpool versus City on Sunday, says Legends Never Die. We will be doing a watch along for that one. It's hard to tell. I think City are favourites. I really, really, really think City are favourites for that. I don't think Liverpool are the same team as they were. I do not think they're the same team as they were. I mean, Liverpool could drop points tonight against Brighton. I don't think they will. But I'd like a draw from a Manchester United point of view, yeah. There's somebody in the live comments who keeps calling me Goldbridge. I mean, for one, it really is a water off a duck's back. I don't care. I've got friends who are gay. I'm not bothered about somebody calling me gay. If I was gay, I'd be happy about being gay. I'm not. I don't go that way. But it's really not an insult to me. I don't sit there when people call me gay going, oh my God, I'm so worried about this. It's abuse, it's trolling. It's homophobic because you're making it into a negative term that if you are gay. I couldn't give a toss if you call me gay. I don't care about people being gay because you know what? They're no different to anybody else. It's just a preference. It just, again, the world is full of these people who think it's a thing or think it's funny, but what actually they're doing is they're using the word Gaybridge because to them it's something negative. Oh, look at you, you're gay. Well, I don't care if I'm gay. I'm not gay, but if I was, so bloody what? Like, grow up. Sad individuals, really are. I'd love 5 minutes with you. I'd love 5 minutes with you with a camera. And not because I'm going to beat you up. I'd just batter you with words on what a prat you are, exposing you for the dicks you are. The game is on BT Sports. Digne with another cross. Iwobi doesn't attack it. He'll pick it up on the far hand side. Are you going to do Football Manager again, says Mark Ward. I do want to do it, but as you can see, I'm not even doing FIFA Career Mode every day at the moment, and I'm loving FIFA Career Mode. Absolutely loving doing FIFA Career Mode at the moment. I'm doing Villa versus Arsenal on Saturday. I don't need to talk about that. Please call my mate, Abin, the king of Pratt, says Sanchit. And my little brother played with Jankwitz at Zavata Genevieve. Alexandra feels terrible. He's such a humble guy. Greetings from Switzerland and stay strong, says Philip Dukic. You know what? Obviously, Man United won that 9-0 last night. And it was a really very, very memorable night and we really enjoyed it. And if I'm absolutely blunt, the only reason we won 9-0 is because Jankwitz got sent off. But I've played football. I think many of us have played football, and I absolutely would not hold it against him if I was a Southampton fan, because he's a young lad. If he was a 28-year-old, you'd hold it against them. If that was someone like Paul Pogba or Nemanja Matic, you'd hold it against them because they're an experienced player who's just let the moment get to them. But for a young lad who's making his debut in a Premier League game, the worst thing that can happen is there's a 50-50 ball to go for because you want to impose yourself on that tackle. And he's flown into it, and he's not actually gone to injure Scott McTominay, but he's gone in hard to win the tackle. And he's missed it, and he's caught McTominay, and you know, it's one of those things. I hope he goes on to have a really good career, and I hope it's not something that bothers him because, you know, it's just part of the game, isn't it? It's part of the game, but it's not part of the game because it's a red card tackle. But he shouldn't feel, you know, he's going to feel devastated, of course. Next time on your career mode, check out Thiago Almada, young, cheap, quick, and a quality Argentinian centre attacking midfielder, says Ashley Crane. Did you know the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are in the Super Bowl, are owned by the Glazers? Looking forward to your watch along of it, says Finn. I do. I almost want them to win because I love Tom Brady, to be honest with you. If Alisson's out of the City game, definitely they're going to win. J-Ling's masterclass later, says Dalibor. We'll be keeping an eye on those games. They kick off in about 15 minutes. Brighton against Liverpool and Villa against West Ham. Hopefully Villa win that. I think it'll be a very interesting game, that one. Leeds have responded quite well here, but it's still 1-0 to Everton. Headed away by Mina. He's very good in the air, you know, Yerry Mina. Very good in the air. I think there's not many crosses that get into that box that he doesn't get his head on. Will you be doing watch-alongs for the Euros, says Isaac? Yeah, we will. It's a long time since we've had a summer tournament, but the World Cup, we nearly did every game as a watch-along, let alone England. So there'll be a lot of watch-alongs going on for the Euros, definitely, yeah. What is the Aurier situation, Guy? Don't know what it is. Glory Boy 622 says he handed in a transfer request 7 days before the red. What, the Southampton kid? I hope you're doing well, Mark. Did you ever think the United stand would get this big, says Danny Stuland? No. You can't start. Oh, here we go. Oh, no. Richarlison slips and Leeds get it back. I don't think you can start anything on and expect it to get to where it's got. I don't think anybody. I don't think the owner of McDonald's started it and thought we'll be a worldwide chain. So I think No, not at all. Chong just scored for Bruges. Well done to Chong. Thank you, Connor. Pino says, why didn't you do a Liverpool or Man City watch along? It's a good question, but it's actually a very easy answer when you think about it. Man City against Burnley. Why would I want to watch Man City win a game? Like 100% they were going to win that game. Never were they not going to win it. Liverpool Brighton, I think the same. I think it will be a straightforward win for Liverpool. So I've gone for some. Look, and also this channel, That's Football. It's not a bloody top 6 channel. I try and reflect what I would do. And tonight there was a lot of games to choose from, and I thought, what would I do if I wasn't going to stream? And I would have watched Everton Leeds, because I like watching Leeds play. They're an entertaining side. And then Everton were playing them on Saturday. So for me, I was either not going to do a watch along and watch this, or do a watch along and watch it. So that's why I chose this one, because for me, it's just it's the best game. But it might not be the best scoring game, but I think it is the best game. And it's been really, really open. It's flown by this first half an hour. And I think there will be more goals in it. Lovely tackle. Sigurdsson, he might hit it. He does hit it straight at the keeper. Do you think Leicester can establish themselves in the top 6? Well, Leicester have won again tonight, and they are currently up to 3rd place. 2-0 win against Fulham, and Burnley have lost 2-0 to Man City. So the way it stands at the moment is that Leicester are on 43 points, I think. No, they're on 42 points, Leicester. The issue for Leicester is, when does Jamie Vardy come back? Their next game is Wolves on Sunday, and then they've got Liverpool, and then they've got Villa. So they've got 3 tough games coming up, and the Europa League kicks in for them as well. And then they've got Arsenal. So Leicester's next month, and a lot of people have got a hard February actually, but Leicester's 4 league games are Wolves away, Liverpool at home, Villa away, and Arsenal at home. If they can take 6 points from that, I think they'll be in an okay position. But, that's the challenge for Leicester. And they're very good at defying the challenge. But also, the thing that always sticks in my head about Leicester is, this is the team that dropped a lot of points last season at the end of the season. So that's always going to be the question. Mahrez was a different class tonight. We need that clinical right winger. His first touch, a weighted pass, and not what United need to keep chase, says Lee Preston. And hi Mark, what do you think about Pogba comments from James Cooper, which is out now, says Anup. And Mark, what are our chances in the next 5 games? Seems a decent run of fixtures starting Everton, says Mr. BMAD. And if Tampa win the Super Bowl, that means more revenue, means more money in the summer. Only joking. I know they will only offer Jones another contract, says Seskov. Thank you very much for that. Richarlison's in on the left-hand side. Lovely cross to the back post, but Leeds clear it. What are the chances in the next 5 games? Seems a decent run of fixtures starting at Everton. United have got a good run. They've got Everton, West Brom, Newcastle, and then I think we've got Chelsea and Man City. So we need to win our next 3 games, really. I'm not aware of Paul Pogba's comments. I can go and have a look what they were. But I've put Pogba Copper. He's joining the police. Pogba Cooper. Can't see anything. Will you play Outlast soon, Mark? Shout out to Gary McFadden, says Mo. And I've done that one as well. Gaz Elliott, I don't even know. Is that name even relevant anymore? It's been years. What was better, feeling having kids or winning Champions League, says Piers Hugan. I love my football. I love my football, but I love my kids. So having kids is something very special. Leeds on the attack. Oh, it should be a goal. Cleared. Yerry Mina's having a great game at the back for Everton, by the way. Very impressed with him again tonight. Here's Calvert-Lewin. He's off. He's on a run, Calvert-Lewin. He stumbled a little bit. He won't be catching that one. I am doing a Super Bowl watch-along, Michael Greaves. 100%. Illness permitting. I will be doing it. Iwobi's got it on the right-hand side. Overrun. Overlapping run. And that should be a corner. Holgate. No. Thank you for the lights on Twitter today, Mark. Says Fred the Red. Don't know what. I think he means like. What is the first ever football game you remember watching, Mark? Says Callum Todd. Very good question. And we'll do that in the live comments. What's the first football game you remember watching? Now, I like this question, and I don't think it defines who you are. I think it's because, as you'll see with me in a minute, Decore into Calvert-Lewin. Oh, good tackle, Leeds. Good tackle, Leeds. The first full game I remember watching will probably surprise you all, but it shouldn't surprise you all. And Lee Preston says, Cavani surprised me. I thought Falcao was back. Eddie work rate his Bruno style. Love watching him. He's been fantastic, Lee. He has. 2010 World Cup final, says Jack. Juve Inter, October 2011. I was 9, says Faith Tomlinson. 09 Champions League final, says Imran. Poland Gibraltar, says Adrian. Aguero moment, says Sabicio. 1994 FA Cup final, says Jimmy Ward 86. England versus Panama, says Ali. Champions League against Chelsea when I was 4, says William Hurst. Leeds Millwall, says Dominic Scothen. Celtic Ross County 4-0, says Diglin. When we beat Blackburn Rovers, Wayne Rooney penalty to win 1-0, says Alessandro. And yeah, it's interesting to see all these different comments. Charlton Barnsley, says FIFA. I could read these all night, I won't, but I do find it interesting. Everyone's talking about what their first game is that they remember watching. Chelsea Bayern, says Telesin. Wolves Leeds 2011, says Jack Byrne. Champions League 2005 final when I was 5, says LFC 82. Iwobi was in there, but it's a good tackle by Alioski. Mark, it was at no club can afford Paul Pogba, says Anoop. Okay, no worries. I'm not going to shout them prats out, Anoop, obviously, but thanks for that. I'm Polish and old. First game was Poland-England in 86 and a Lineker hat-trick, says Thomas. Well, you know what? You're not that much older than me then, Thomas, because Thomas remembers Lineker's hat-trick against Poland in the 86 World Cup. Now, I was ridiculously... Are you going to do these watch-alongs coming up? Spurs, Chelsea, Villa, Arsenal, City, Liverpool on Sunday. Andrew C, I'm doing all 3. I'm doing all 3 of those watch-alongs on this channel. So please subscribe, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. Everyone's welcome on this channel. Leeds on the attack. 10 minutes to half-time. Memorable goosebumps was Mark Hughes versus Oldham FA Cup, says Lee Preston. I remember that. And you know what? I was desperate that game was going to be a draw because I was at school and I knew they used to have sports night on a Wednesday and I wanted to be able to stay up on a school night. Arsenal 2, United 4 at Highbury. The John O'Shea chip, says Sean Thornton. Not surprisingly, we've got a lot of people who are a little bit younger than me, but there are a few around my age, actually, because the gaming circle says 86 World Cup, the best ever. Calvert-Lewin shoots wide. The first game I remember fully was the 1987 Cup final between Tottenham and Coventry. Now, I didn't support either team. The reason I remember it fully is because the FA Cup final used to be the biggest game of the season. It's amazing to the young folk, but the FA Cup used to be huge. It was a big event. Saturday morning TV, they'd even be talking about it, and they'd even follow the buses. It would be there'd be build up about 6 hours before the game. It was the FA Cup final used to be massive, and not just in football, but in the country. So Coventry Spurs was my first ever game I remember watching start to finish, and it felt like it was like watching the Titanic. It was just bloody. It felt like so long because it went to extra time. Coventry won it. Huchin with a dive and header. I remember I wanted Spurs to win for some reason and they didn't. But it's not the first game of football I remember, but that's the first game I remember watching all of it. Football games I remember, little bits of. I do remember United winning the FA Cup in 85. Funnily enough, I don't really remember Liverpool beating Everton in 86, but I do remember little bits of the World Cup. I don't really remember anything about it, but I remember my family going absolutely mad about Maradona's handball. So, but I was ridiculously young then, like ridiculously young. Probably shouldn't even remember it really, but I sort of just vaguely have memories. My earliest memory, cross comes in, Leeds keeper catches it. My earliest memory was a house where my parents said you would have only been about 2.5, and I remember living there, and I remember just little flashbacks. Going for a crap under the table. My dad going on a course. A specific Christmas present. But I was under 3. I was under 3. I don't think many people remember that sort of stuff, do they? I used to like and go and have a crap under a table when I was a toddler. I'll own it. God knows why. Couldn't think of anything worse, but I used to like going behind a curtain or under a table and having a good crap. United against Fenerbahce in 2004, 6-2. Rooney with a hat-trick on his debut. Magic, says Lee Wolseley. And Rosenberg beating AC Milan to qualify for the Champions League quarterfinals in 1996, says Alexander Prestus. Hi Mark, big fan since the early days of United Stand. I've started Square, kindly visit and please ask your fans to visit. ARM Square, says ARM Square. There you go. Oh, he's in. Ayling with the cross. It's a good one. Bamford gets his foot on it, but it's cleared. Richarlison heads it away. Good work rate by Everton today. And my greatest ever goosebumps was Giggs versus Arsenal. I'm 35, but that's my highlight. It made the house erupt, says Lee Preston. And I was born in 87. The first game I ever watched was Blackburn Southampton at the Dell with Tim Flowers in goal for Blackburn and Letitia scoring a belter. Who did Shearer play for, though? Was he at Southampton or Blackburn? That's a good question, Swade. Or did he have his knee injury then? July 1978, says Russian Nightmare. Trevor Francis had come to Detroit from Birmingham and scored 5 goals against San Jose Earthquake. Been hooked ever since. That's got to be the oldest one yet, Russian Nightmare. Well done. First game was 2006 World Cup final. First club game was with Rooney volley versus Newcastle. United fan ever since. And Rooney's my favourite player, says Gabriel Noel. That was one of my favourite Rooney goals, that one against Newcastle. Absolutely brilliant the way he volleyed it. I think, was that the one where he was angry with the ref as well? 5 minutes to go to half time. And 5 minutes until... I will change channel actually at half time. We'll turn on... I'll turn Liverpool Brighton on probably, or West Ham Villa, just for 15 minutes because there's no point keeping this on at half time. The ref pissed him off. So, yeah, see, I remembered. Please subscribe, by the way, bottom right hand corner. It's not going to work, is it? Oh, it is going to work. Great. Just going to check how many subscribers we've got on the channel now. We are doing Spurs Chelsea tomorrow night as well. This is why I asked. We're 80 subscribers away from 312,000. So please subscribe, bottom right hand corner. Help us get to 312 tonight. We're only 80 away. Bottom right hand corner to subscribe. We're 5 minutes away from half time. And it's 1-0 to Everton. Digne with the cross and Sigurdsson with the tap in. Welcome to the Members Club, Niall Gallagher. Best goal you've ever seen whilst at the game, says Joe Barron. Well, the best goal I've ever seen whilst not at a game isn't going to be what you think. Like I've seen some unbelievable goals, and I've watched so much football. Like I used to. But my weekend as a kid was either playing football or going to watch teams that my granddad was managing or family members were playing for. So, and I've played a lot of football in my life as well. So look, best goal I've seen live in a football ground is a good question, but the best goals I've seen wouldn't be Premier League goals. Like I've seen some unbelievable goals in amateur football, and it's a goal for Everton, and it's Calvert-Lewin on the back post. Well, that's a goal. That's a delightful goal, that is. So front post, flicks it towards the back post, and Calvert-Lewin just flies in to make it 2-0. I don't know who gets the flick, but if it's Yerry Mina, he's having a great game. And I think he might do. But a brilliant goal by Everton. It's Holgate, isn't it? Is it Holgate? Who gets the flick on that? It's not Yerry Mina. It's Godfrey. Godfrey gets the... No, it's not. It's not even Godfrey. It goes off a Leeds player. And it's not... It's amazing what you see in slow-mo, isn't it? Nobody gets the flick on that, I don't think. I think it goes off the Leeds player's head or Godfrey. And then Calvert-Lewin's there to nod it in at the back. Scholes versus Barca Champions League was my favourite goal, says Lee Preston. And you are my Goldbridge, my only Goldbridge. You can make me happy on United Stand. So just keep me going. Don't be stopping. Please don't take my Goldbridge away, says Persan Vic Tagson. And Bielsa's down. Always looks like he's having a crap, Bielsa. But it's 2-0 to Everton here. And they're looking in a very, very strong position. You're having a fucking laugh. Fuck off! That's the Leeds channel. 2-0 to Everton. Typical Everton performance so far, you know. Defensively strong and efficient. Where's Pickford? Is Pickford injured? Or has he just dropped him? I don't know. Let's have a look if he's on the bench. Oh, baggy bottom jeans. Boots with the fur. He must be injured, Pickford, because he ain't on bench. Or suspended. Or just dropped. Are you going to do Brighton versus Liverpool at half time, says Finn? I will put it on, yeah. I will put it on for 15 minutes, yeah. Did you know that social media companies will be fined 10% of the turnover, which is pretty much billions of pounds, if racism is reported? Do you think this is enough from the government? Says Jonathan McKenzie. I'd love to know how they're going to enforce that, to be honest with you. Pickford's injured. Thanks very much to Danny J. Spurs-Chelsea prediction, TJ, 2-2. I'm going to go with on that. Carlo Fantastico, Carlo Magnifico, says Robin. What are my thoughts on them ahead of Manchester United playing them on Saturday, Everton? I think it's going to be difficult. I think it'll be a difficult game. I think it'll be a difficult game. I think that Everton are a well organised team, and they seem to be very, very good at grinding out points at the moment. So I think it'll be a difficult game for Manchester United. And you know, just because we've beaten Southampton 9-0. Doesn't mean that we're gonna beat Everton, but what we've got to do is beat Everton. With all due respect to them, I think it'll be a tough game at the weekend. And I haven't watched Everton for a while, which is why I wanted to watch them tonight. But they're well organised. I don't think Leeds are out of this, by the way, but they're well organised and they can score a goal. Everton. They've got good ball delivery, as we've seen. You know, one was across from Dunye. The corner's the second one. They've got a chance to put a cross in here. And Yerry Mina's so dominant in the air. Oh, I thought he was going to score there. Iwobi puts it back in. And Leeds... You know, Leeds today... I don't think they've done bad. I just think the problem with Leeds is they just lack... They lack quality, don't they, Leeds? They don't... Where Leeds tend to come unstuck is when they play teams that have got better players than them, and you know, I think Bielsa's a fantastic coach, but Leeds have got better players. So, Everton have got better players, and I think that shows. Who was saying that? Mark, is Lingardino available for the FA Cup against us? He won't be, no, because he's on loan in the shade of death, so he won't do that. Yerry is one of the best aerial defenders in the league, says Shannon Sharp. He's fantastic, he really is. Bamford is playing Suede, but he's not getting much out of Mina and Godfrey at the moment. Thoughts on Cavani apparently having an injury, says Tayab. I think it's just a knock on his ankle. I don't think it'll be anything serious, to be honest with you. 3-2 Everton, Bamford for a double, and Calvert-Lewin to get the winning goal in the 84th minute, says YT Trick Gamer FC. And Calvert-Lewin's back in the goals. Leeds don't have a defence, says Illa United. And Rodriguez is still on the bench. He is, Nathaniel. He is. Kyle says, no quality, no experience, just vibes. And being a Bristol lad, Mark, my good memory, Mark, was when getting Sven-Goran Eriksson to autograph. He was Man City manager in 2008. I will be flicking over to Liverpool-Brighton after this, yes, at half-time. I'll be flicking between the two. It's sort of like a combined game watch-along. It's a shame you can't get two on screen on BT, actually. That is a bit frustrating, because it would be nice to have both on screen, wouldn't it? But no, we're not going to be able to do that. Why don't they do that? BT, you should allow that, especially in this modern time when there's so many games. Why not allow it so you can have dual screen? You know what I'm saying? Sort that one out. Do you think there is a pile-up of right wingers? Greenwood, Chong, Palestri, Traore, James. Will there just be a loan cycle? I don't think any of them might not be good enough on the right wing as well. Play Liverpool on your phone when the second half kicks off, says Mark 101. Oh, it's sort of it's leveling that one. It's leveling that one. He should be able to dual skew it, dual do it in this game. In this day and age, you should be able to dual screen it. Disappointing, but I've got Liverpool on the telly now. Let me just stop the clock here. So I've got Liverpool on, and it's half time in this one. So let's just stop the clock. Stop the clock. Turn it off. So did you see the Troops video on Twitter about you, says Dean Wahid? Can I just say I'm not getting involved in any of this. It's so 2018. What it's called is grow up and stop being so hateful. This is one of the big problems that we've got in society at the moment. And by no means am I saying if you hate a certain player that you're a racist or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying. But we need to take things down a level, and trying to get into bloody social media beef. I mean, you're just as bad as anybody else who's trying to cause arguments and being abusive to people. We just don't need it. It's just not. I'm not interested in it. I couldn't give a shit what anybody says. I get a lot worse than that every day on social media. So I'm not interested in if another influencer wants to shout me out in a positive way or a negative way. I'm really not that bothered. It doesn't bother me. And it's probably one of the biggest mistakes I've ever had. What I did 2.5 years ago, getting into that after a football match against DT, and it just rumbled on for ages, and it became very embarrassing and very boring, and I'm just not interested. All I'm interested in is watching games of football, interacting with people, talking about football, and having a bit of a laugh. I'm not interested in hating on people or getting into arguments. So if that's what you want, I've seen there's been an upsurge in these sort of upcoming prats who seem to do it all the time, trying to cause problems with people to try and be relevant. Get your heads down and work on your own content is what I would say. I seen your voluntary red card in the 6-0 win, says Lee Preston. I don't know what that's all about. Really? And? Any retrospect on Lingard's time at United and expectations for him at West Ham? Oi oi. Oh, sorry, I just had some frustrating news there. Wife's just took the cat to the vet because it's had a swollen mouth, and the vet says it's been poisoned. I mean, fucking the people in this world. I get that you don't like a cat, but putting something down to poison it. Fucking people in this world. I just don't get what goes on in people's heads. I really don't get it. I just don't get it. And look, it happens. It does happen. People don't like cats. It's been in my garden. But putting poison down, for fuck's sake. I wish I knew he'd fucking done that. Cowards. Poison's a cowardly way to do anything anyway, isn't it? It's like stabbing somebody in the back when they don't know when they're going to get it. Would love to see a video with you and Ben Foster, says Reddit Mates. And Mr. Marcus Goldbridge, how are you doing today, Red Barrett? I was doing really well until I got that news. I just hate cowards. I do. I hate bullies and I hate fucking cowards. If you've got a problem with something, come and speak to the people. Don't fucking try and poison their cat. Well, I don't think they know. I don't think it's actually to do with that. I think probably that it could be anybody in the area, couldn't it? They've just seen it in the back garden. They don't like it. It keeps crapping in my garden, so I'll poison it. Sometimes I just despair at society. Anyway, I've got Liverpool versus Brighton on at the moment. It's half time in the Leeds versus Everton game. 2-0 to Everton at the moment. I don't know whether Liverpool... I expect Liverpool to beat Brighton, but Brighton are a well-organised side. I bet it was fucking... I bet it was John. I bet it was George Kirby. I bet it was. Such a person can poison a human being, says Centurion's 100 points. Well, yeah, just... There's some evil, vindictive people out there, unfortunately. Oh, lovely ball in. And that's gone for a goal kick. Firmino doesn't quite get there. I support Liverpool. We should beat Brighton as long as Kelleher has a good game, says Swade. Last time I saw him playing goal instead of Alisson, he's the Irish lad. He played really, really well. So, yeah, he's been doing a good job for them. It's half-time in the Leeds game at the moment, so we're watching the Liverpool game, which has only just kicked off. Also, I've got the ability to just flick on to Villa versus West Ham as well, where Lingard is playing for West Ham. He's actually closing the ball down there. Playing in sort of a central sort of number 10 role, Lingard, as well. So, he's in the action, which is interesting. First team football for Jesse. It's great to see. Got the hiccups now. Why isn't Casido on the bench, says Edvin? Probably a little bit too soon for him, isn't it? Casido coming over from Ecuador for Brighton. They only confirmed the deal on Monday, so he's probably not quite ready. There was even talk of them sending on loan. Red Baron says there's actually studies on people who are generally becoming more narcissistic, so they only care about themselves and the community. I wonder why, says Red Baron. And Mark, you should replicate a certain Keanu Reeves character who went on a tirade after they missed with his dog. John Wick. Yeah. Mark, also, I have a watery eye, Mark. What did you use to get it to go away, says Aidan. Well, apparently, I've got quite a swollen eye here, and I thought it was something to do with like a virus or an infection, and it's not. It's actually an eye trauma, which I've either banged it or it could be a sneeze or something like that. But the watery eye part is nothing to do with it. The watery eye part is apparently to do with dry eyes, and they've advised me to get some water eye drops, because obviously everyone's spending a lot more time inside at the moment, and because it's a colder time, you've got your heating on, so your eyes are getting dry, especially when you're working at a TV screen. So try and get yourself some water drops. Although I have tried one set and it actually reacted badly. Hi Mark, Chelsea fan from Sweden. Just wondering what you think of Chelsea's chances against Atletico in the Champions League, and if you've ever been to Sweden. I've never been to Sweden, Auntie. I would love to go to Sweden, Auntie. And I think Chelsea against Atletico Madrid, I would put Atletico Madrid as favourites because they are top of the La Liga at the moment. But, it depends on... You don't panic about where a team being top of the league in La Liga. It's more about... Because you could be top of the league in La Liga, but the difference in quality between that and the Premier League could be, if you drop Atletico Madrid into the Premier League, they'd be 6th. So you never know. There is a chance for Chelsea, because what if the Premier League is stronger than La Liga this year? Also, Chelsea will have to put a lot of effort into... I don't think Chelsea are going to win the Champions League, by the way. I think it'd be very difficult for them, but I wouldn't count them out of getting through the Atletico Madrid game, to be fair. No Mane for Liverpool again. I don't know whether Mane is going to be back for the Manchester City game, but Firmino on the turn. Could be a difficult game for Liverpool tonight. I was very impressed with Liverpool against West Ham and Spurs, and they need to keep that going tonight against Brighton. But as we know, Burnley have won here. Brighton, if they're well organised, could cause Liverpool a problem. Mark, sing some Adele, says Arjun. Set fire to the rain. Watch it burn as I touch your face. I love that song. It's classic Adele. Casido isn't on the bench, and he's only just signed for them, hasn't he? So I would presume that. But excited to see what Casido can do for Brighton. Basuma's playing for Brighton though. Big good player he is. I think Lamptey's still injured, isn't he? Been out for quite a while. Apparently we've hit 312,000. Please subscribe, bottom right hand corner. It's not updating now. Why didn't you become a singer? You are always bringing the tunes, says Danny Stuland. Yeah, not quite. Cross came in there, and Salah was very close to it, but couldn't take it down. Depressed Bridge, says Jacob. I'm not depressed. It's a little bit hard to take though when you're on a live stream and your wife's been to take the cat to the vets because it's got a swollen mouth, and we thought it had been in a fight, and then the vet says it's been poisoned, and you're like, look, I'm not a massive cat lover really, and it would piss me off if a cat was coming in my garden and shitting in it, but I wouldn't poison it. There's things you can do. You don't need to poison it. You can spray it with a water gun to scare it from coming in. You don't need to poison it. It's just, how do you sleep at night doing something like that? But people are tapped in the head, aren't they? And it saps your faith in people sometimes. That's all. On the other hand, you know what? I could be jumping to conclusions. He might have just ate something he shouldn't have ate. We've all done that. John Cena or The Undertaker? Undertaker for me, Rota, yeah. What was your job 20 years ago, says Vivek. 20 years ago. I lived in Ireland 20 years ago. So I was working in life insurance in Dublin city centre. One of the best times of my life. It was. Lingardino's man of the match so far, says Philip Parr. He's only played 15 minutes. Imagine if Lingard does better than Grealish. That means he's better than Grealish. Lovely running by Grealish, though. Oh, he's not going to get a foul for that, though. I think it's going to be an interesting game to keep an eye on, that one, actually. Liverpool-Brighton. Go back to that. You're famous in South Africa, says Troy. I'm not famous anywhere. So close for Jesse, says Jack Priest. And will King score on his debut mark, says Tommy. I'm just glad he's moved from Bournemouth, Josh King, and he hasn't come to Manchester United. That was always my biggest concern there. Daniel, I don't even know what that means. If you're going to slate me in urban slang, you're doing it to the wrong person. Do it in yokel stuff, but don't slate me in urban slang, because I'll probably think it means something good. So I've got no idea what wallad means. Does it mean I'm well hard? That's what people. I don't know. I don't know what it means. Would you prefer to get 5 million today or spread it out in monthly payments over the years? Says Racehorse Red. Well, thanks for the super chat, Racehorse Red. I'd rather get it spread out unless I'm getting £5 million and it's tax free, because you get taxed a hell of a lot on 5 million. So I'd probably take it as a monthly thing, yeah. Are you watching Liverpool or Everton game? I'm going back to the Everton, and it's just a sad existence. I'm not doing it. I'm here to enjoy and have banter. I'm not here to, start pretending I'm some sort of Poundland Boris Johnson making political statements or hate statements. Sorry. I always super chat because your chat is real. I'm a Red Army member and you are in an industry of prats. I always tune into the best, says Lee Preston. Thanks for the super chat there, Lee. And if Jesse lights it up at West Ham, best case scenario, what's the most you think Man United could get for him, says Alex Hampshire. Well, I'm glad that you've said, can he come back and have a future at United, because I think that ship sailed. I think United could get 15-20 million for him. Year left on his contract. So yeah, I think that could happen, but we'll have to wait and see. Apparently, people are having a bit of a problem with the stream. I don't know what's gone wrong there. Let me just have a quick look. We are live, remember, so it could. It's absolutely fine. There's nothing. It might be YouTube then. I was just checking my internet speed. This is quite a good internet speed, isn't it? 490 with 33 upload. Pretty fast. What is your favourite alcoholic beverage? This is Scott Avery. Varies. And Mark, would you rather receive £1 million in one sum or receive £1 and hope the value double in value every day for 30 days. Footy Karma. We're all trying to work it out. 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64. I think I'll get more money in 30 days, wouldn't I? Quick maths. Yeah. I think I would. Has anyone seen those 8K camera? I mean, we haven't really seen them because it's not 8K on Twitter, is it? But you're not even. It makes me laugh actually because people are putting clips out of it, going, "Look at these 8K cameras that they're using in La Liga," and you're like, "Yeah, you're playing it on Twitter. It's not 8K, you prats." But yeah, they have got these 8K cameras that they're using in La Liga, and I saw it for a Barcelona thing. Wow. This is where technology is going, people. It's going 8K in the future. We'll all have to get 8K TVs, but it literally will be more defined than real life if that's possible. It won't really, but it's Bielsa's moving up and down. It does look like he needs a poo again. I think Bielsa actually. I figured it out with Bielsa. I think he actually goes into matches needing a crap. That's why he's always bending down and walking around. Rojo agreed move. Do you see this as a wage saving? Would you have kept Rojo over Jones, says Lee Preston? 80k a week off the wages, and he's not played in about a year, has he? So it's he's got to go. He's got to go. He's got to go. City have got the best defence in Premier League history, says Charlie McGovern. I doubt it. It's not the end of the season yet as well. So I think there are, correct me if I'm wrong, and there will be people out there, I'm pretty sure there was a season when Arsenal conceded a ridiculous amount of goals. I think they might have even been in single figures, which sounds stupid. It can't be the case. But the best defence in Premier League history will be the defence that conceded the least amount of goals. And we're only halfway through the season, so Man City haven't got it. Mina, Godfrey, Leeds are going to go for it second half. And it's a goal for Leeds. It's game on. It's Rafinha. He makes it 2-1. I told you this game was going to be good. Well, it is. Leeds have got a goal back. 2-1. Bit of a not. I wouldn't say it was a soft goal, but I'll have to watch it from behind. For all the good talk, Holgate doesn't get rid of it. Bamford fights, and Rafinha, keeper can't save it. He's gone through Godfrey's feet. Comes to Rafinha. He's on the far hand side. He shoots low, goes through the legs of Godfrey, and the keeper can't get it. So it's 2-1, and it's game on. Get in! Get in! You're having a fucking laugh. Get in! It's 2-1. Chelsea only conceded 15 goals under Mourinho, and that's the best defence, Mark. I tell you what, you got me now. You really got me going. Leeds on the attack again. We've got a good second half now. Early goal in the second half, 48th minute. Now, Arsenal's best defensive record. Let's have a look. No, that's not what I want to have a look at. Come on, where is it? Don't want appearances. Cross comes in. Oh, no. I don't know what I was talking about Arsenal. Their best ever record is 26 in 38. So that's it's obviously not the case. So obviously not the right thing. Hello, Mark. I love your channel so much. Keep up the hard work. Love from SE, says Tom Tenson. And wine gums or Haribo's, says Scott Avery. It's tough, that one. That is a tough one. I do quite like the old wine gums. Everton a little bit on the ropes here. Lingard's looking good, says Lemonade. And Brighton is a team full of potential, but no end product. I do think if you put into a Brighton side, even somebody like a Bamford, they'd be so much better because they are a well-organised, tactically set up side. They just miss a top quality striker. Say Scooby-Doo in Scottish accent, says Alfie. Scooby-Doo. Shout out to Chubman from Dublin, says Dominica. And Chelsea has got the best record in Premier League history, says Driller27. So what was it? How many goals have Chelsea conceded in Premier League history? They've conceded, was it 18? Well, Man City have got 17 more games to go and they've conceded 13. So I don't think they're going to be the best defensive Premier League record, unfortunately. 15 they conceded in a Premier League season. Forget about it. Man City are going to concede more than 2 in the next 17 games. Left back Hines, Everett or Shaw, says Lee Preston. Everett. Yeah. So who was the prat who said that Man City have got the best defence in the Premier League record? You're wrong. You're right. You're right at the moment, but not for long. What are we going for then? What did I say? 3-2 in this game. I said 3-2 to Leeds. So let's see how it's going to go. Leeds definitely on the front foot now. Could be a game of 2 halves. Here, Leeds on the attack again. Rafina switches it. Everton playing within themselves a little bit at the moment. Christian says, I think attacks are way better today than back then, though. Oh, I don't know. I think that's very modernistic to say that. You know, the Premier League had some fantastic players through the years. I mean, look, can't you remember this? Can't you remember when England had an abundance of attackers? They used to play Shearer and Sheringham, but Andy Cole was about, Stan Collymore was about, Les Ferdinand was about, Ian Wright was about, Robbie Fowler was about, Chris Armstrong. You know, we're going down a little bit, but there was so many top quality, and they're all the English ones. It was 96, you know, at that time that the European players were starting to come in as well. So I disagree. I think the quality of strikers has been pretty, you know, good. And what year was that? 2004 that Chelsea did that. Thierry Henry, Van Nistelrooy would have still been about as well. You know, I think people get lost in the moment. You know, who are the great strikers in the Premier League at the moment then? Harry Kane? Aguero's not as good as he was? You know, is this season got an abundance of attacking talent? I mean, there are some good players, but I wouldn't say it was as... Chris Sutton was another one as well, Tony Yett. So, no, I disagree with you there. You could argue that the attack isn't as good. Leeds into the box again. Oh, poor final ball. Why did you stop wearing player sweaters like Bruno and Martial and Rashford? I don't think I've got... They're all T-shirts, mate. I haven't got anybody's sweater. They're all T-shirts. It's a bit cold for T-shirts at the moment. Ooh. Giving a foul there, Yerry Mina. Can you say happy birthday to my cousin Jemima? She's turning 15 today, says Elva. Happy birthday to Jemima. Who scored for Leeds, says Dara? It was Rafina. They've got a cross coming in here. I wouldn't expect them to score from a cross because Yerry Mina's been so dominant. And Calvert-Lewin actually heads that one away. Please subscribe, by the way, bottom right-hand corner. Do you still play FIFA Ultimate Team, says Manjot? I do, I just haven't been streaming it. I'll tell you what I have been playing a little bit of lately. Pro Clubs, just drop-in games. Yeah. How do you do watch-alongs for the Euros? Will it just be the England games or all the good games or none of it, says Lalanas in Pyjamas? Probably all of it. I tend to do all of it, really. Because everybody just gets into that bug, don't they, for the World Cup or the Euros. And, you know... So I'll probably do as many of them as I can. See how it goes. 6 foot Caluso and North London is white, says Fian. And when will you be coming back to Ireland, says Jeffrey. No one can go anywhere at the moment. Why aren't you watching Jay Ling, says Jamal? Because I just thought this would be a good game to watch, and Man United are playing Everton on Saturday, and I've not watched Everton in ages, so I wanted to do a bit of a scout job. And as a huge United fan, so United excluded Harry Kane and Aguero are best. Tino Esprilia, says Lee Preston. Leeds are all on the attack at the moment. To be honest with you, thinking about United playing Everton on the weekend, I think it'll be a difficult game, but I haven't seen anything that makes me think, yeah, we can't beat them. Basuma looks way better than Rice, says Red Devil. I wonder if Man United are in for him, I wonder what big clubs are looking at Basuma from Brighton, because he's definitely a step-up player. I think there's a lot of players in the Premier League that are step-up players. Declan Rice, as you mentioned, is one. Jack Grealish is another one. And I think Basuma's another one that can step up and get involved in top 6 clubs. Do you think Lindelof is underrated, says Tom Tennyson? I just don't think Lindelof and Maguire work well together. So I think Lindelof with somebody that he worked better with would be a good player. Hope you're well. I'd also say that there was better midfielders and defenders in 04-05 than today in the Premier League, says Muzzy Lions. It was a mid-noughties to about 2008 was a fantastic period in the Premier League. There was a lot when Mourinho came to the Premier League, it upped. Even Sir Alex Ferguson said that. I'd sort of got it licked. Wenger was on the way out. We'd built another side, and then Chelsea came in with Mourinho, and they had the money, and it was a whole new ball game to try and knock them off their perch, which he did. But it went up a gear when Mourinho came in. Gaming time. Who do you hate more, Man City or Liverpool? I don't hate anybody. Don't hate anyone. There's no point. It's rivals, not enemies. There's enough hate in the world. Now it's Everton on the attack. Decore. I hope they bring on James Rodriguez. Don't know why he's not getting game time. Scott Avery says, "Can you call Nathan a deluded Arsenal fan?" Well, I think Nathan already knows that. Thanks. And do you still put tea bags in the sink? Says Neil Daly. Callum says Tranquil Bridge. There's a reason for it. I'm a little bit subdued. If you've tuned in a bit late, I'm sure they'll let you know in the live comments. But would you rather have Mina or Varane? And do you think someone like Neymar, who never played in the Prem, would be as good as he is in the Liga or League One? Says Amar. Look, I'd love to see Anthony Martial. Sorry, what am I on about? I'd love to see Messi, or that should be a penalty for Everton. That should be a penalty. It's got to be a penalty. His arm's in an unnatural position. Why would that not be a penalty? I've lost. I'm absolutely lost now. I don't even understand VAR anymore. Does anybody actually understand? Anybody understand the handball rule now? This is the thing. It's the same as the Villa one last week. I've got nothing against Leeds and I've got nothing against Aston Villa, but both of those I'd say nailed on. VAR is going to give a penalty, and they don't. And I'm just like, I used to. I'm like you, Nicholas Iron. I don't understand it now, but I used to. The handball rule at the start of the season was very simple. If your hand's in its normal position, if your hand's not in an unorthodox position and it hits it, so it's down by your arms, by your body, it's not a handball. But if your arms are outstretched and it lands on your arm, it's a penalty. Well, that's what's just happened. He's jumped to head it, his hands are up like that, he's missed the header and it's landed on his arm. It's a penalty. Just don't get it. But I didn't understand why it wasn't a penalty against Villa against Southampton last week either. I just don't get it anymore. And that's the thing. It's not going to cause me any harm because I'm not a Leeds fan and I'm not an Everton fan, but if you are a fan of Leeds or Everton, or if you're a fan of Everton in that case, I do sympathise with you because I've got no idea what it stands for anymore. Got no idea. Yeah. So just have a quick look at the other games, see if we've got any goals coming in, because this one's a good one. Villa still 0-0 with West Ham. Greg Rowley says it's because it came off his head, maybe. 0-0 in Villa and West Ham, and 0-0 Liverpool and Brighton at the moment. Is the 500 million current contact details are true that had been found about Messi? What's your opinion, says Lee Preston. I don't know, mate. I don't know. I actually think he'll end up going to Man City, but a lot of people think he's been offered a lot of money to go to stay at Barcelona. I mean, look, it'd be a very big statement if he was to go, wouldn't it? But I just thought he would end up at Man City because he's out of contract, but they're going to have to pay big money to keep him, aren't they? Did you know, I mean, Jonathan says Kevin De Bruyne or Bruno. I'm not going to get into that debate, but what I will let you know is that Bruno's won Player of the Month 4 times in 9 months, and Kevin De Bruyne has not won it once in the last 3 years. Amazing, really, isn't it? Because I do think De Bruyne on his day is better, but, you know, Bruno is a little bit younger than him, and I think he can be better. Oh, good. See, Yerry Mina again. Lovely cross comes in from Rafinha. And it looks like someone might get the head on the end of it. And what a save there by Olsen. Oh, and again, 2 good. Wow, it's all going off here at the moment. Wait a minute. So a cross came in from Leeds, from Rafinha. It's a great cross, and Yerry Mina heads it away. Leeds keep the ball. Point blank range shot against the keeper. Saves it, and then again, another save. He's having a worldie. Boy, he's playing well, this keeper now. He's just made 3 saves in the space of a minute. Third one was easier than the first 2, but I tell you what, he'll be feeling very proud at the moment. That Olsen in goal for Everton. 3 good saves in a minute. But Leeds are looking like they might get back into this. I think there's a sleeve rule now, so it has to. It's arm, but had connection to the sleeve. It's not a handball, says Aidan McCrudden. Well, when have they changed this? When have they changed this? To be fair to Leeds, they probably deserve to be 2-2 because the keeper's made 3 good saves there. And remember, they did have that shot in the first half that Alioski hit the post from, which would have been, you know, arguably better than Moutinho. He's hurt his hand, Olsen. Brendan Rodgers, I'm not reading that out. It's filth. Absolute filth. It's been a good game, though, isn't it? It's always a good game with Leeds. Trust Goldbridge. People were like, why are you not doing Man City Burnley? Because Man City will win. Why are you not doing Liverpool Brighton? Because Liverpool will win. Why are you not doing Jesse against Villa? I nearly did. I chose Leeds Brighton because I knew it would be a good game, and I've not watched Everton for so long as well that I think that I needed to give it a watch. And I've not been disappointed so far. It's been a cracker so far. Goal of the month for January, says Ryan Purdy. Get your contenders in. We are doing Tottenham Chelsea tomorrow, so make sure you tune in for that one. It's 8 o'clock kickoff tomorrow for that. Brighton are doing well against Liverpool at the moment, says T.O. Brendan said something about fisting, which we don't want to talk about on this channel. Moutinho's goal wasn't in January though, was it, Kepper? It was in January. Otherwise, I would have said that. Scooby-Doo. And people keep saying it has to be Moutinho. It will be for February, even though it's only February the 3rd. It will be for February, but for January, I'm trying to think what there was a few good goals, wasn't there? Gundogan scored a couple of good goals, didn't he? I think Chelsea are more likely to win tomorrow against Spurs, but I think it'll be a draw. Spurs can't afford to lose again. Their record is terrible. Pogba against Fulham was a very good goal, Alex Riddle. Although I think the keeper should have saved it. I said that at the time. You can't fault Pogba, but I think the keeper should have saved that. "25 minutes to go in this one. We've had 20 minutes, which means it's 5 minutes to half time in the other two. Oh, Carlson hit that one quite well. I thought I was going to find the bottom corner. Favourite crisp flavour marks as Connor Pico. I always used to be, it was miles away by Richarlison, by the way. Always used to be prawn cocktail, and I still do like it, but I'd argue that there's some cracking crisp flavours out there now. Barbecue and ice. I like cheese and onion as well. You know, but there's so many. There's so many now. What's your opinion on Rafinha, Mark, says Kimmy? I think he's a very, very good player. As I said in the first half, I think in relation to Leeds, there's a real condescending arrogance against them, because I think people go, oh, look, Leeds have lost again, but everyone loves... I just think it's I just think when people... And I see it a lot, and they'll go, oh, Bielsa ball. Everyone goes on about Bielsa ball. Well, they've lost again. And it's like, do you actually watch the game? Like, there's a very, very simple reason that Leeds lose a lot of games. And yeah, they do play a little bit open. Of course they do. But also, the quality of their players are not that of the quality of even half of the Premier League. So if Bielsa had Arsenal's squad, or he had Man United's squad, then they would be higher up the league and beating more teams. And people say, well, the United players or Arsenal players might not suit Bielsa, but he's turned Leeds players into his style. So I think the better players that Bielsa had, the better his team would do. You give Pep Guardiola this Leeds team, they wouldn't be winning the league, would they? So it's... I just think there's a real... You get some people who are just very condescending towards Leeds. But the quality of their players are not that of most of the top sides. So I think if Leeds want to do better, then they need money to give to Bielsa, because I'd love to see what Bielsa would do with a Man City squad or a Liverpool squad, because I think that Man City and Liverpool have got the players that could definitely play the way Leeds play. Mark, love the school thuggery Clint Eastwood mashup of your clips. I think you have your Halloween costume for this year. Keep up being a good sport, says David Nardiola. Thank you very much. Thanks very much for the super chat there. Whether we'll ever see Bielsa with top quality players is unknown, because I don't know whether Leeds have got the money to do it. But they won't go down, Leeds, no chance. And even if you disagree with me on the quality thing, they're still a fantastic side to watch. Bielsa, the way he plays football, just always is exciting when your team are playing them. Is Hazard the biggest ever? Is Hazard the biggest ever big money flop? Says Lee Preston. He's not done well, has he? I don't know what the problem is with Hazard. I'd have to talk to Chelsea fans. Does he lack the right mentality? I don't know. Gareth Bale's Spurs return, John Blatchford, has been very disappointing. And I'm not going to be one of those people who said, I told you so, because I really thought that was a good deal for Spurs. I don't think it was a good deal for Man United or Liverpool or Man City, because it was a bit too much of a risk. But I think for a team like a Spurs or an Arsenal, looking to bridge that gap to get into the top four, Gareth Bale was a very shrewd move. But it's turned out to be a very poor move, because they've got nowhere near the value for money, have they? I'm very surprised by Bale. I mean, this is a player that not too long ago you'd put him into the top 5 category in players in the world, and he can't even get first team football for Spurs. So, I mean, yeah, is Gareth Bale just a player that's switched off? I mean, he looked like he switched off against Real Madrid and wasn't interested in playing football anymore. Has he lost that hunger? I don't know. I do not know. Favourite takeaway order, Mark? PS, call Brad and Charlie a pair of prats, says Jack. Depends on the mood, Jack. You know, Jack Arkwright. Sometimes it's Chinese, sometimes it's fish and chips. Scooby-Doo, iron brew, says Lucas Larson. And too much money, Jack O'Connor. He's made it and he's not hungry. Almar, I don't know what your question was, sorry. And years of being kicked in the Prem, caught up with Hazard, says Mona. The thing is, when you go from the Premier League to La Liga and you're one of the Premier League's best players, it's quite rare, I think, to be a really good player in the Premier League and then go to La Liga and flop. Gareth Bale's a prime example. He was tearing it up in the Premier League and then he tore it up in La Liga. Because in La Liga, it's not as competitive as the Premier League. I'm not saying it's not as good, but the challenge in the Premier League is harder than it is in La Liga. Traditionally, in La Liga, you know who the top 2 or 3 teams are going to be, and you know against the bottom half, it's a bit a walk in the park. That's changed a little bit recently because Real Madrid and Barcelona aren't the dominant forces they were. But in the Premier League, you've got to be on it all the time. So I'm very surprised in Hazard. And also, was it not his dream move to go to Real Madrid? So I'm not really understanding what's gone on with Hazard at Real Madrid. I would have thought a lot of it's been injury, to be fair. Real Madrid just haven't been the same since Ronaldo, have they? Let's be honest. Anyway, Leeds have got 20 minutes to get back into this game. It's 2-1. Everton not really done a lot second half, I've got to be honest. And it's 0-0 in Liverpool and Burnley and Villa and West Ham, by the way. Liverpool can't afford to drop points again, can they? They really can't. I think Liverpool can't afford to drop points in the next 2 games. Delightful cross comes into Bamford. Onto the roof of the bar. Lovely looping header and it doesn't drop in. Shamone. Now, Leeds have made a substitution. Tyler Roberts has come on for Click. And that's the only substitution we've had so far. So, just to keep you up to date on that one. We're just coming up for half time as in the other ones. Please subscribe, by the way, bottom right hand corner. Everyone's welcome on this channel. We're doing Chelsea Spurs tomorrow night. Career mode probably going to be back on Friday now, which is a bit disappointing. I do want to do career mode, but it's when you're doing the watch-alongs, it's difficult. I'm doing a Super Bowl watch-along on Sunday night as well. I'm looking forward to doing that. It's half-time in Villa and West Ham, and it's half-time in Liverpool and Brighton as well. So 0-0 in both of those games at the moment. Half-time for both of those. Surprising, actually, there's not been any goals in them. Almost like I've picked the right game, isn't it? Almost like I've picked the right game. Tampa Bay are going to win. Put your life on it, says Patrick Cash. I think the Chiefs are the favourites, but it's quite rare. Drawty was telling me it's quite rare in NFL for teams to retain it. Back-to-back winners is quite rare in NFL, but I think the Chiefs are the favourites. But I do want Tampa Bay to win, not because of the Glazers, because I just love Tom Brady. I think he's the GOAT, isn't he? So, yeah. Super Bowl's on Sunday night. What time do they throw off? About midnight, is it? Finish about 3 in the morning, I think. That's a good question. Somebody said, who's the most hated team in the Premier League and who's the most liked team in the Premier League? Well, it's a very subjective question. So get into the live comments. What's the team you like the most and what's the teams you dislike the most? 11:30 is the kickoff. Yeah, thanks for that, Farmy. Everton have done sod all second half, you know. What has C19 made you realise or appreciate more? I've realised I never appreciated being able to travel. Lots of holidays on the way after C19, says Thomas the TIE Fighter. I think I'd agree with you on that one. Do a WrestleMania watch along in April, says Oliver Smith. Yeah, I think I will. I was disappointed not to do the the Royal Rumble, actually. The Edge won it, didn't he? So most people are saying Liverpool and Arsenal. A lot of people are saying that they hate Liverpool. Which was pretty much the same when I was growing up, actually. Leicester and Liverpool, says Daniel Welsh. Likes Leicester, dislikes Liverpool. Hate Arsenal, like Villa, says Irfan. Like Leicester, but hate Villa, says Suede. It's mad, isn't it, how people have different things? Hate bloody Arsenal, says Tom Mitchard. Hate United, says Stephen, who's a Liverpool fan. I think it's Darren's birthday, lads. P.S. Glory, glory, Man United, says Manraj. And City are hated, says Cade Way. Are City relevant enough to be hated? That's the problem. I think Man City's biggest problem, and I guarantee if you sat down with Pep Guardiola or the owners of Man City, their biggest problem is they're not even relevant enough to be hated. And they are relevant because they win trophies, but they just can't become relevant in the same way that, if there was a news, the best way for me to explain this is, if there was a news story tomorrow that Messi was going to sign for Liverpool, it would break the internet. If there was a news story that Arsenal were going to sign Messi, it would break the internet. If Man United were going to sign Messi, it would break the internet. If Man City were going to sign Messi, Messi would break the internet, not Man City. And it wouldn't break the internet as much. And the problem is, Man City are a very well-run club. They want to be the best, and they've won a lot of titles. And they'll keep going until they win the Champions League. And I think they will win the Champions League one day, because that's the way that club is run. But what you can't buy is a big fan base. It takes a long time. And I don't know whether Man City ever will buy a big fan base, because there's just something that's a little bit boring about them. And I don't know. That's the problem Man City have got to solve. How do you become a big club? They're a big club because of the trophies they win, but they're not a big club in relation to, do people ever there's not. De Bruyne is injured, all right. They just don't capture the imagination of the public or the press the way that Arsenal or Liverpool or Man City, or Man United, or even Chelsea do. They're behind there. They're almost the same size as Spurs in that regard, and I think Spurs probably get a little bit more because of Mourinho. Time is the only way for City, PT. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens with Man City in 10 years, because I do think you can grow that, but it just takes time. Ten minutes to go in this game. It's half-time in the Villa-West Ham game. It's 0-0 there. It's half-time in Liverpool-Brighton. It's 0-0 there. Liverpool will be getting a little bit squeaky bums there, because they've got to find a way to win. Fancy helping us top on pro clubs, says Aidan Villa. I'm not ready to play for anybody yet. I've not got all the points and anything like that, so I'm still building up my pro. But give me a couple of weeks. Buff Daddy says, not much we can do as a fan base, but we will always back you and can't repay how much you've helped us during tough times. We'll always love you, says Buff Daddy. Thanks for the super chat there. Love Man United, hate Liverpool, Arsenal and Chelsea, says Shoab. Digne's injured here. They're running over. I don't think it's going to be any. It's going to be a yellow card, I think. Mark, what career mode after United career mode, says Harris Boyle. I don't know. Maybe Burnley. Phil or Grant Mitchell. I always liked Grant, Dino. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Chelsea Spurs tomorrow. Remember, we're doing it on this channel tomorrow night, so join me for that. Does John Stones get back in the England squad? I think he should be starting at the Euros, thoughts, says AMG. Well, they love each other, Stones and Maguire, don't they? They love each other so much that the minute a Manchester derby's over, they give themselves a bloody hug. I thought they were going to start snogging. So imagine what they'll be like as a defensive partnership for England. Do you ever watch the 2005 Ashes? If so, what was your favourite moment, says Oliver Smith? I watched it all. It was fantastic. I don't love cricket enough to be able to tell you my favourite moment, but I just watched it, and that Australian side was really good. I know we've won the Ashes since then, but they were really good. Skull and Thuggery's editing when you roar and use the whips as he... Oh, it's fantastic. I was laughing my head off. Really, really good. The T20 against New Zealand, Stephen James. Was that last summer? When did that happen? I don't know when things happen anymore. That was 2 years. That was 18 months ago. It wasn't last summer. It was the summer before, wasn't it? You see, COVID makes you lose track of time. But that T20 World Cup win was just crazy. I think if you were New Zealandish or whatever you call him, a Kiwi, I'd be having nightmares about that. You've got to know cricket to know what happened. But basically, England couldn't win it. They couldn't win. There was like so many balls left and they needed so many runs and it was impossible to do it, basically. And they fielded it and it hit they'd run 2 runs, then it hit the bat and went out. So we got another 4 runs as well. It was just freaky. It was weird. It's one of the weirdest things I've ever watched. But yeah, England then won it on a bowl off. It was crazy, that was. That's one of the biggest sporting moments as a cricket. It was the one days internationals. It wasn't the 2020. New Zealand were robbed, says David Humphreys. Well, I don't know whether they were robbed. It was just an amazing moment, isn't it? Amazing moment. $10 minutes to go exactly. Please subscribe, bottom right hand corner. I love Man United and I hate Chelsea because managers don't ever get enough time to build their team, says Daniel Bezants. The only thing more boring than cricket is Man City, says Johnny Bones. I don't watch a lot of cricket. I just, you know what I'm like, and I'm sure a lot of you are like it as well. Football is my be all and end all, and there's not enough time in the day to watch all the football. Because even if you watch your club, you then start watching games like this. I can't be into another sport because football takes up my time. So what I do is I like a lot of sport, so I tend to just drop in like a glory fan, I suppose. So I'll watch the Six Nations rugby because I do like rugby, but I haven't got time to watch it any other time. I'll watch the Rugby World Cup. I'll watch the Ashes of cricket, and I might watch the Cricket World Cup if England do well. I'll watch the Olympics, but I won't watch any other athletics. And that's what I tend to do. I'll watch the World Indoor Bowling Championships. No, I'm joking. I do like darts, but I probably don't watch it, Mr. Munda, because it's like there might be something on Netflix. I love snooker. I don't watch enough of that. I could sit and watch snooker all day. I love snooker. It's just very, very relaxing. Well, Leeds. I mean, it's mad, isn't it? Leeds got a goal back in the 48th minute. We're now nearly 40 minutes later, and they've not actually equalised. So big 3 points for Everton if they get it. Arsenal will be praying that Leeds don't, because they'll stay in. Leeds can't go above them. Villa against Arsenal Saturday lunchtime. I'm going to do a watch along for that. Arsenal need to bounce back, don't they? And they won't have Leno in goal. What's the match ban, actually? Can you do your Pat Butcher impression, please? Says Reddit man. It's not Pat Butcher, is it? It's people's Pat. It's not Pat Butcher. You're talking to Pat Butcher. Pat. It's Mike Reed, isn't it? How many games, here's a question for you. How many games ban does David Luiz and Leno get for a straight red card? Is it a 3-match ban? Or is it a 1-match ban? See, again, I don't even understand the rules anymore. Opinions on Scottish football? Come on, St Mirren, says Callum Todd. I used to watch a lot of Scottish football when I was growing up, but I haven't really watched it in a long time now because it just got very boring when Celtic were winning and Rangers got relegated. Spurs get too much stick. They don't have the money or stature of the rest of the big six, but comfortably compete with them, but get the same criticism, says RB. I don't know about that. I think Spurs had a very, very good summer transfer window. In Kane and Son, you've got the two best attackers in the league. As a pair. Obviously, Salah's better, and you could argue Bruno's better. But as a pairing, Kane's up there anyway. Goals and assists. I think he's got the more goal contributions than anybody. Son's amazing. Reguilon's been a good signing. So I think Spurs should be doing better than their position suggests. Mina heading the ball away again from across. A lot of people saying it's a 3-match ban, although some people are saying it's a 1-match ban. I don't think anybody really knows, but 3 seems to be the bigger number. Everton had a chance on the break there, but the keeper's out. It's a 3-match ban, says Kieran, but they can appeal for a 1. Well, I think Leno's was a hand. I saw somebody today saying that Leno's shouldn't have been a red card. He should have got a yellow. He runs out, the ball bounces wrong, and he stops it with his hand. And if he doesn't stop it with his hand, Adama Traore would have scored. So I think sometimes people want to rewrite the rules. It's a stupid red card. I'd be pissed off about it. It's very avoidable. But when you watch it back, the angle of the ball that he stops, Traore would have been through and scored an empty goal. So it's denying a goal scoring opportunity, isn't it? It's a red card. Flintoff over Ricky Ponting, Platt run out, Pointing, and the Edgbaston test where Australia needed 2 to win, says Oliver Smith. That was amazing. That was how we held that out. That really was. Will Murphy says it's still 3-match ban for a straight red and 1 for 2 yellows. So they haven't changed that then. I've seen American Psycho. That's one of the most impactful books I've ever read. It's crazy at times, but I think I was about 19 when I read American Psycho. 2 of the most impactful books I've ever read, actually. American Psycho. Actually, there's 3. American Psycho, The Beach, and Dale Winton's autobiography. Massively powerful books. It's a 1-match ban, people are saying. Oh, I don't know. Let them argue. No, but the American Psycho, I really liked it, but then there's times in it when you're like, what the fuck? It's. I'd recommend reading it if you've never read American Psycho. I would read it, but I'd just go into it, and it changed me for a couple of weeks while I was reading it, and you'll understand why. It does sort of mess around with your head a little bit. The Beach is a fantastic book. I enjoyed it way more than the film. I loved the book. But the Dale Winton thing is, of course, a joke. Rest in peace, Dale. Some people say the Supermarket Sweep was his best show. I loved In It to Win It. Uh, 3 minutes to go in this game. Can Leeds get the win? Yeah, Chelsea Spurs tomorrow night. FIFA Career Mode on Friday. Villa Arsenal Saturday lunchtime. Man City Liverpool Sunday afternoon. Super Bowl Sunday night. Lots going on this channel. Very excited about it. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right hand corner, because everybody is welcome. It's not club specific, so get involved. Josh King could score against United. Oh God, imagine that. It's written in the stars. Josh King scores against United. Yeah, I'd never thought about that. I think Leeds deserve a draw. I don't know what anybody else thinks. I think Leeds deserve a draw. I think Everton in the first half good. Second half, just 2-0. I think they thought that's it. We're fine. They've played within themselves, Everton. So I suppose it's the two sides of Everton, really. First half, I thought they were decent. Second half, I think they've been a bit, average. But I suppose when you're 2-0, you might well be. Another chance for a cross to go in from Phillips here. Yerry Mina will win this. No, he doesn't. I think it was Godfrey that time. Good. They're a good defensive side, Everton, though. They sorted out the full kit manager issue on FIFA, says Ashley Crane. Well, we'll see. We'll see on my next one. It's a one-match ban for Luiz and Leno. I think I'm more confused now than I was when I asked the question. Opinions on Swansea, says Cheese Sandwiches. Don't know what they're doing. I know where they are. They're in Wales, but I've got no idea where they are in the league, so I can't give you any. What Netflix movie do I watch tonight, says Charlie McGovern. Let him know, people. Let him know. Anything good on Netflix at the moment? Apparently there's a really good Netflix series coming out, which is based on American Horror Story. It's a hotel, and it's a documentary. I think it's coming out this month. Somebody was telling me about that. I think they said that might be the big, like Tiger King. That's the thing. Something you want to try and get on will be every year. There's something. I remember 2 years ago. Lupin. A lot of people talk about Lupin. Said it's very, very good. I don't know what's wrong with the internet tonight. It's in and out a bit, isn't it? So this is a problem when it's live. I've got really good internet, but some nights it's just a bit all over the place. Plugged in as well. I'm on the Ethernet. Shouldn't be doing that. Annoying. Freddie B says Mark lives in the forest. No other excuses for his poor connection. Yeah, but you know what, Freddie? On a serious note, has anybody got internet that that is 100%? Because I do a lot of streams and I very rarely have an issue. But sometimes it's going to happen. You're out of control, aren't you? All you can do is plug your Ethernet cable in and you're in the hands of your internet provider. I'm not with Sky Broadband now. It's not my PC. My PC's good. Narcos, I've watched it. True Killer, loved it. I've basically watched anything good on Netflix now. Sopranos, I need to finish off. Yeah, definitely. A lot of people talk about Lupin. We live in the shadows and we had the chance and threw it away. And it's never gonna be the same, 'cause the years are roaring by the rain. It's never gonna be the same. That I found you, come to my house and say hello. Oasis. Costa, cross comes in. Mina again. How many headers has Mina won tonight for Everton? 5 minutes added on. I'd say Yerry Mina man of the match for Everton. Oh, he's been fantastic. Troy says, how good was George Best? Mate, I'm not that old. How do you think I watched George Best in his prime? He played in the 60s. Lupin 10 out of 10, says Bailey B. Is it a film, Lupin, then? I've not watched it. I need to watch that. Friday Night Dinner, I binge watched it all last year, Kieran. Loved it. Really did. Karate Kid is brilliant. Yeah, watch Cobra Kai. Lupin's a series, okay. West Ham are winning 1-0. See if we can catch the goal. Oh, you bastard. We live in the shadows and we had the chance and threw it away, but we're never gonna be it. Soucek with the goal. 1-0. 5 minutes into the second half. West Ham. Come on, get me back on sport. Get me back on sport. Oh, BT have had a lot of games on recently, haven't they? It's all been BT recently. Jesse's played quite well, Cheetahs, according to everyone in the live comments. And it's Souček who scored it. He's scoring a lot of goals. And the final whistle goes, and it finishes Everton 2, Leeds 1. Big 3 points for Everton. They move up the table. That's what tends to happen when you win 3 points. Everton move up to 5th in the league with 36 points. Putting them 8 points behind Manchester United, but they've played 2 games less. So Everton potentially could be looking at a good season this year. They've got 3 big points. They'll go into that United game feeling confident. Leeds, I've got to say Leeds, mid-table Leeds. They're not going to be going down, but again, I think they should have got something out of that game. So Leeds, Everton play Manchester United on Saturday night at 8 o'clock. Leeds' next game is Crystal Palace on Monday night. They'd be hoping to win that, and then they've got Arsenal the weekend after that. So Leeds, they'll be disappointed, but they should have got something out of it, really. That's what I would say about that. Anyway, that's me done for tonight. I'm not going on to any other game now because I haven't really been watching it. Get Mark to watch the Villa match. No, I'm done for tonight. I'm tired. Thanks everyone for tuning in. We will be back on here tomorrow for Chelsea against Tottenham. There is a United Stand video. The 8 o'clock show was a little bit earlier if you want to check that out. Thanks everyone for watching. We've got loads of watch-alongs coming up over the next few days. Super Bowl on Sunday night as well. Make sure you subscribe and I'll speak to you all later. Stay safe and take care.